Yeah, hi there. These comments are for Azadeh. Thank you for your questions, and also thank you for becoming one of my students. I know you've been studying for a while. You said, after a long time for TOEFL study, I cannot improve my listening and reading parts. Do you have any recommendations for improving in these two parts? Because I really need scores in these sections. Yes. How about this? Think of listening and reading apart from the TOEFL. So it's not just TOEFL study, but in terms of your reading, I probably told you this already, but I'll tell you one more time. There's 5 specific things that you need to do in order to improve your reading. And by the way, as you do these things, your listening will also get better. Number 1, you need to learn those 1,700 vocabulary words in the vocabulary part of my course. You do that by writing all the words on note cards. Put one word on each note card. On the other side, put the definition, a sample sentence on the back. Study those note cards regularly. Really make an effort to learn those words. That's really number 1. Number 2, you want to make sure you're reading for about an hour a day, every day, for at least 6 months. You want to read magazines, newspapers, and longer books. The main thing is to get your mind used to reading and make sure you don't interrupt this 60 minutes. You don't want to talk on the phone. You don't want to send any text messages. Nothing. Concentrate on reading only. Don't even stop when you see a word you don't know. Just keep going. Right? So that's number 2. Number 3, increase your reading speed. You need to get your reading speed to about 300 words a minute or more. Now remember, you can't really increase your reading speed until you have good vocabulary and you've already been practicing extensive reading for several months. But you do need to improve that reading speed. You can do that directly at my website. I have reading practice tests to go from 100 to 350 words a minute. Remember that those reading practice tests are not designed to be TOEFL level. They're only designed to help you mark your reading speed and your comprehension of academic materials. Now, number 4, you want to make sure that you are aware of the TOEFL IBT reading question types, and then you also know the strategies for answering each one. You can also learn those things in the reading part of my course, right? Then the 5th thing, and you cannot do this at my website, but you need to do it, is make sure you start taking reading, TOEFL level reading practice tests. And when you're done with the practice test, obviously check your answers and do analysis of the wrong answers. So you can understand why you made the mistake you did, and you know why the one answer is better than the other. So this is very, very important for you. So I think improving your reading is a combination of doing those 5 things. Now, listening. It's similarly, you also need to take time listening, practicing listening to authentic listening materials. If you go to my website, not only do I have those 40 listening practice tests, but I also have 2 suggestive websites that you can go to. And you want to make sure that you're going to those websites each week and you're getting used to listening, authentic listening materials. Now, in addition to using my course, Azadeh, is you can also spend time watching TV and listening to the radio. You want to do that every day. This is very important. So you can watch the 5 o'clock news or the 6 o'clock news, something like that. So that would be my questions with that. That would be my suggestions in the listening area. So obviously complete all my listening practice tests, and then make sure you're watching TV, listening to the radio at night. And then if you have a TOEFL book like you did with your reading, you can also take TOEFL level listening practice tests and do the same thing with the reading, is do analysis, I think, of the answers you missed, so you can understand why you're making the mistakes that you are. So with the listening and the reading areas, you want to make sure you have developed a good system of note-taking. For example, during the reading part of the TOEFL exam, As you're reading the different paragraphs, you'll probably have 6 to 8 paragraphs for each reading passage. For each paragraph, write 1 or 2 words in your notes about the paragraph. So as you're reading, when you're done, you create a map. It's kind of like a map of the reading passage, and that helps you prevent you from having to read everything over and over. So those would be some of my suggestions to help you with both your listening and your reading. And remember that really the main key here is vocabulary for both areas. So as you improve your vocabulary, it'll be much easier for you when you're reading and you're listening to academic type texts. All right, thank you for your questions and have a great day.